Okay, we
Yeah.
are just summarising and debriefing on our concept development of Gen V's musical improv show for touring, and we're going pretty well. I feel like we're going pretty well. I think we've got a kind of a style, which is
Yeah,
great.
we got this style down, and I think it's been the combo of groundedness with the a bit of fun. I want to say a bit of fun. I think it's a combination of groundedness and still having a playful attitude has
Yes,
been really key. Another
yes,
key
yes.
and some of it'll be more about when we're in person, but another key is to be able to use the whole stage to tell more of the story with physicality as opposed to just whatever comes out of our mouths. I think that's going to be a lot more powerful. Like, for instance, the workshop that we did where we were fire people, firemen, fire persons,
Yeah.
uh, and I was saving somebody from up here and then throwing them down to you. And I imagined that on the stage, you might be on the
Yeah,
other
I was.
side of the stage.
Yeah, totally. Yeah.
Yeah, and so those dynamics are working really well. And then when it's time for a song, you can just whip it out right here, and you're ready to
100%.
go.
Oh, speaking of that, I had a question.
Yeah.
There hasn't been an issue online, but in real life, what if I want to die or sit down? Because I did a rehearsal with my husband the other night, musical rehearsal. Lucky for me, I'm getting double in as much rehearsals because he can play guitar and sing as well. So I died in that one, but because I'd played too much and my fingers are injured from playing through the cyclone, that's another story. I died, and then I realized I can't die with it, so I'll have to, like, if I'm going to die, I have to flip it, right? Or if we sit on a chair, how's this going to happen? That's what.
Okay.
Didn't think of it before, and now I'm like,
Yeah,
hadn't thought of
ironically, I
that.
think the dying is going to be easier than the sitting. Because when you die on stage anyway, you're going to want to be facing the audience. So all you have to do is die like on your side. And then
Okay.
this can come up on that side. So just imagine,
Okay.
imagine this is the floor.
I've never had to die on my side before.
Right.
Yeah, I've always
Imagine, like,
just died off camera. So it's
Yeah.
just like...
Yeah. So you die there, and you face the audience.
Oh, okay.
Right.
Okay. Okay.
And then for sitting, I mean, it depends on how high your ukulele is. But mine, I can just sit down fine. And actually, I do sit down during some of our
Maybe I
rehearsals.
can pull it to the side a little bit.
Yeah, I'm gonna get my.
'Cause I got a
I'm gonna
chair.
get something. I'm gonna get my something. Hold on.
Yeah, I think I can just do it on an angle like that.
Yeah.
Just slide it.
Push the ukulele to the side a little bit. People know
Like
what's there.
this. Like a gun.
Yeah, exactly. It
just-
goes down. Mine faces down.
Yeah,
know
me
what yours
too. Yeah, me
faces
too.
down.
And also, I think I'm just going to sit on the edge of the seat rather than sit with my back like right into the seat. So,
That is healthier anyway.
well, it's
better
good
for
for
the
your
alignment.
core.
Yeah.
It's good for your
keep it-
core.
Keep the core exercises are a big part of preparing for this show. So
Yeah,
getting
so-
ready to
so can I
twist and
say-
shout. Yeah.
Can I say how grateful I am that we are actually having this meeting because we had a cyclone in Queensland and we lost all power and everything. And hence the injury I was talking about before was when the roof sounded like it was going to come off. And the only thing that could soothe me was my ukulele. So I played until I fell asleep. So this is, I got some, I had some hard calluses going on here. So,
Amazing.
yeah.
That's great.
Music
That's
gets
great.
you through.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And
the
I
roof
haven't
could be
had-
coming off.
It does. Yeah. Well, I'm glad that you were able to use it for your own mental health, even if it destroyed your wrist health and your
It
fingertip
did.
health.
Mate, yeah.
Okay. Well, you need your brain more than you need your wrists and fingers anyway. So.
Well, at this point, yeah.
Yes,
Okay, cool.
That's
So that's good because I was wondering about the sitting and the dying situation. Interesting about dying on my side. I've never would have thought of that before, so that's interesting. What else? Anything else? How are we feeling about it? Loving the music. Music's going well. I think the
Music's going well. So I'm always, my eye is always going for improvement, right? I mean, because while I'm very happy with
because
the
you're
show,
a perfectionist.
well, I'm a bettermentness ist
Oh,
or something like that.
okay.
Yeah. And
All
so
right.
I'm always trying to get better. And I think the show right now is at a quality where it'll be remembered as one of the better shows at the festival.
Oh well, that's
I really think
that's
that.
good.
Yeah.
That's good.
And as
Maybe
you
we
know,
should-
that's not
we
good
should-
enough for me.
Tell people as well that we did get accepted into a festival already.
Yeah, we can announce. Okay, yeah. Well, so what we did is the Auckland Improv Festival. I let them know what we were doing and what you were trying to achieve, and they really loved it, and then invited us to be part of the festival and giving us a primo spot, Saturday night spot at the last night of the festival. So it's going to be big. It's
Headliner.
the kind of pressure that we need. That's right. It's a cross ditch.
Concept development headliner, you know?
Right.
Like,
Yeah. And we did a lot in between, right? I mean, we're not going to, and we're doing these online shows and everything that help get us ready. There is going to be the dynamic of having the audience there, which unfortunately means that even though our shows now are like 28 minutes, we should probably aim to try to get them down to like 24 or 25 of
I think
content.
25.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
of the people are going to be laughing a lot at this.
Yeah,
They
it's
are.
really just going to disturb the equilibrium of the time, like while they're laughing, and we need them to laugh, so we'll just give them that moment.
They need to laugh.
They-
The punters, they need their,
They need to laugh. All right, yes. So,
Right. even though we're
yeah.
doing very serious work.
okay, so can I ask you a
So-
question? Can I ask you a question
Yeah.
if that's the case? On a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being, and 10 being smashing it, right? Where do you think we are?
For
at
what
the
you and I
moment?
can achieve, considering our previous
Okay, let's ask
education
two
levels.
questions then. For what we can achieve and for what is status quo at the moment out there. Okay, so I want two scores. Between one and 10 for what we can achieve, and then 1 and 10 for what, like, compared to what you think's going on.
Okay, honestly, I think that in terms of what's happening at the Auckland Improv Festival, I think that we're going to be, if we are where we're at right now, maybe an 8.5, maybe a 9 compared
That's better
to
than I
other
thought. Okay.
compared to other people.
Okay.
In terms of what we can achieve in the next week and in the next month before that
Week?
festival.
What's going on, week? They brought it forward. You got a week. Yeah. Right.
Right. No. Yeah. No. So in terms of what we can achieve in about a month, I think that we're currently, if the best that we can be is in a month, I think
Okay.
that we're at a 7.
Okay. I'm happy with that.
And I think that we can get to 8 or 9 even in the next week or two.
Yeah.
About just a few things, because
Yeah.
most of the things that we need to do to get better are like stop doing this, do a little bit more of that. Things that we already know how to do. So it's very
Yeah,
easy
right,
to stop
okay.
something, you know.
Yes.
And
well,
then
I don't know.
yeah,
drugs.
well,
Yeah.
it takes some practice to stop doing things that are in our habits.
Yeah.
But and for me, it's about shortening the show, not of content, but just certain parts. Like part of the dynamic that you and I have, and it's very common in comedy, is to repeat or make a commentary about what just happened.
Yes,
And
yeah,
so if
yeah.
we cut that down, we can cut down our show by about 8 to 10%. So that's 2 minutes right there, which is great.
Yeah.
And the other part that I think is a little bit harder is advancing because we have tried to advance more in the past and it led to shallow characters. So we have to like advance
True.
more and keep the better character development that we've been developing.
Yeah,
So-
it occurs to me the why and the want thing. So again, if that's so whatever the want is, but the why below the want, if that's there the whole time, I think it will be easier for us to not lose sight of the character, I guess. You know.
Yeah, and let's see how deep those whys can go, right? Because I find it
Yeah.
satisfying that if you find out like the deepest of the deep level why
Deepest of the deep.
in the last scene.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
Yeah, you explore that and like, oh, I thought I wanted this, but I guess what I really wanted under there is something deeper. And it's a different way of saying the thing that you say with chunking up. I'm talking about
Yeah.
digging deeper. It's the same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, actually, and here's a little information for you about chunking. It's interesting because chunking up is chunking deeper because you're going to value.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
So-
Like you saying chunking up is the same as me saying digging as deep as
Yeah,
you can
yeah,
go.
yeah. That's right.
Right,
Yeah,
getting
yeah,
to that
yeah,
value of it. Yeah, I was just explaining this to my students the other night.
Great, great.
Based on what you were saying with the chunking versus dig deeper.
Dig deeper, yeah.
And it's amazing, by the way, so much of improv, where people are at, even after doing it for years, sometimes they'll just talk at people without going for what they want or having that deeper want and saying like, Sally, I told you not to do that, right? And not have any reason to say that.
Like, why though?
Yeah. I told you not to do that. Oh my God, my friend is going to come over here and see that I'm a slob because you did that. Then you have something with you, right?
And now you've gone 2 levels deeper. So the friend's coming over, so that could be embarrassing, but it's not about being embarrassing. It's about the fact that I'll be a slob. So we're going like two levels down in that statement, right?
Yeah, and that's more and more relatable as we go. So we want to make sure to learn a lot more about our characters. I feel like we've addressed that in the last few shows. I want to keep going and keep getting to deeper levels of why or higher levels of chunk. So that'll be good.
What do you feel about the last one? Because the fireman one, whatever. I feel like, I'm just talking about me personally, so I want to ask you your experience. But for me personally, I feel like I got closer to that, but I would have liked to get a little bit deeper with it. But I did get to the stage where all he wanted to be was to be seen as a hero. Like my main character, the one that, was catching cats and shit falling off the thing.
So I would say our show was kind of like, if you want to say the top is the highest need and the bottom is like, I want some chocolate.
Well, specific, yeah.
Yeah, so I think we went from here to here to here with a little bit of it unearned, It's just like, I'm stealing babies. Oh, I miss my wife. Woo, I guess I just wanted to be seen as a hero. Just went boom, right there.
Yeah, right up. Okay.
And that leads me to my next point, which is I feel like we want to help build into some of our deeper needs and wants during the songs.
Okay.
Because traditionally in musical theater, you're not even digging deeper at all. You're like maybe digging a little deeper, but you're really just kind of parallel feeling out the feelings that you're supposed to feel in that scene. But we don't have time. We have to say, here's what I really, I told you never to do that again. And that's got to go, I told you not to do that again because my friend's coming over and he'll think that's really embarrassing of me. And to be embarrassed is the last thing I need because when I was a child, I was really taunted. And then, and it's got to keep going deeper and deeper and deeper.
So long as not every song is exposition like this. I mean, that's
right.
Everyone, I got to get to the date. Let me chunk up. And
yeah. So that's one way is exposition, which I know everybody fears. But another one is just to have realizations, so that it's not exposition. So it's like, my friend's gonna be here at any moment. He could see that I'm embarrassing. That would haunt me to my core. I don't want
Okay, now the only thing I want to bring up here, is this is our challenge. This is our biggest challenge of all the challenges that there are. And if we can smash this, we're getting to a 9 on that scale, okay? When you're going to the why, rhyming goes out the window, right? Because your brain is doing like fucking 3 things at once or something. It's like...
Well, let me tell you though, I've been practicing my rhyming, not as much as I would like, but I've been practicing my rhyming. So now my brain kind of sometimes it rhymes without me thinking about it. And so right there...
I like it when that happens.
Right, so right there I know I was rhyming, but I wasn't... only in retrospect, because you pointed out, but I wasn't consciously rhyming right there.
Okay, so were you? Because I felt like embarrassing is going to be hard to rhyme.
Oh, well, here, let's just try it. Just real quick. It was so embarrassing. I felt I could never sing.
Okay,
another time, So it can come.
Yeah. We're not going for true rhymes. Okay, we're going for just anything that sounds phonetically like it's a fucking rhyme. Like that's
I think what's important is what I would like to do by the time we get to the show, and I don't know if we can, but we'll try, is to do all this skilly stuff as much as we can that requires thinking while performing, which sucks, and then spend like the last week or 2 just practicing, not doing any type of skills, and just saying, let's see what happens.
Maybe
taking 1 or 2 notes at the end of the show to see how it goes, and say to ourselves, our rhyming really sucked on that last one. Oh, it did? Oh, okay. I'm just going to practice rhyming for like 5 days. And then we'll do another show also not thinking about rhyming. right?
Yes.
And see if the rhyming got better. But I do want to get
yeah.
into the mindset of, we do this all the time. We're not here performing this for the first time in front of you guys. We're just doing this as a single time, and we'll do it for hundreds more. That's got to be our mentality going in.
Yeah, definitely. I agree with that. Okay, cool. So I think, I mean, I'm definitely feeling a lot more confident with rhyming. Again, though, I have to master, what I need to master is like, okay, I've got the rhyming and I've got to kind of trust that more, because when it comes to the why, that's taking a lot of cognitive load. So, you know, and then so is there something I can do like for myself? I'm just asking, I don't know. So because there's two brain processing things that are going on there, and one is using like language and conscious ability, which is in the prefrontal cortex, and the other is using metaphor and symbology, which is more in like amygdala and stuff like that. So there's a lot of brain processing that's actually going on. So I'm just kind of like, I wonder if we could create an exercise that we could practice, like not now, but you know, on our own. That was basically, I'm practicing rhyming, but I'm also practicing my brain switching between those two things of rhyming and symbology. Because when we talk about chunking up or going to the why, we're in the place of symbology and metaphor and all that sort of stuff, which is like a different part of the brain. You're in the more creative side than language, you know, where you're thinking about, you know, in old terms, more left brain stuff, where you're thinking about, this must rhyme, how do I do this has got to go here,
Yeah, I mean, that's a bit tough for me, because I'm not sure that I'm fully bought in on the concept that one is like metaphor and symbolism. When I'm talking about why, when I'm talking about, like, let's say that it was real life as opposed to a performance. Mm-hmm. If I'm asking myself why, and I'm getting into why, it's just I'm revealing more of myself. And so, like, say, for instance, I need to drink this water. Why? Because I'm thirsty. Well, that's a bad example, because it's like you really figure out that people.
That's Maslow's hierarchy of needs. We're down the bottom here.
Right. So why? Like, I need to check my phone.
Why are you on your phone all the time? Why are you on your phone all the time?
Right. I'm on the phone all the time. Because I need to see if people have tried to reach me, and then you say why? Because that's when people try to reach me, I want to be there for them. Why do I want to be there for them? I want to be there for them because it makes me feel important. Why is it important? Why is it important? Because if I don't feel important, I don't have a reason to get out of bed in the morning, right? And so
I get one more why.
Right, and if I don't have a reason to get out of bed in the morning, I'll hear my father's voice in my head calling me a lazy bum the rest of my life, you know. And so
okay, so now I've got a relationship with father and all that as well now. Just from going deeper, right?
As soon as it gets to the father, you're done.
Yeah, as soon as the
yeah.
As soon as the father or the mother makes an appearance in that questioning, we're there. Yeah.
Yeah. So that doesn't, now if I'm making it up, because I just made that up, it wasn't about me. I don't need to check my phone all the time. There have been times in my life where I do need to check it out. So that just takes kind of like a pause, right? And then if I practice rhyming enough, let's say, give me another thing about like, why am I doing this?
Okay, so you keep checking for a parcel that's supposed to come.
I keep checking for a parcel. I need to see if it has the love letter.
Why?
I need some time with her because my life needs to get better.
Why?
I've always been terrible with women, terrible with myself.
Why?
Maybe I was terrible or should have been put back on the shelf.
See how
I was adopted and now I'm not loved and my parents never got along. There's one thing
TMI.
above
okay,
it all.
TMI, like...
Yeah, right. So
okay,
if we can,
no, I like it, but at the same time,
yeah.
But okay, so that could be an exercise, because I was asking, can we create an exercise which you know, we've incorporated the why exercise and the rhyming exercise. But did you see how like you started slowing down and your eyes were like accessing both sides of your fucking brain at once? So again, you know, we just have to practice that until it becomes a little bit more unconscious competence. That's all. That's what I feel. Yeah. Okay, so can you try it with me? Because I'm going to find it very hard. Give me
Sure.
give me a suggestion.
Sure. You're always sniffing your armpits.
Oh my god. Okay, I trust you to go for the most like specific and absurd thing. I'm trying to buy time. Okay, what is it? I keep sniffing my. I need to keep sniffing.
You just do it. I don't know what you need to do,
Okay,
but
alright,
you just
okay.
do it all the time.
I keep sniffing under my shirt because many years ago I was hurt. The other kids didn't want to play with me 'cause I was different, can't you see?
Why are you
'Cause I'm
different?
an outlier. Yes, I'm an outlier. Yeah, I feel like I wish I could be on fire and die because I'm an outlier.
Yeah, but
Okay,
how are
cool.
you an outlier? Keep
Okay,
going.
cool. Yeah, keep
Can you
going.
do one more?
Okay.
Yeah. Why
Yep.
are you an outlier?
Okay. I'm the youngest in my family. By the time my parents got to me, they were bored. So I feel like I am trying to rhyme now and not going with the Y. This is what fucking happens, right? So I've got to let that go. Okay, I'm the last. Okay, and they were bored with me. So I feel like I didn't even learn the simple things like cooking, like deodorant, like making friends, like anything that is just being a human.
Why is that hard for you? Why is it hard that you can't be a human?
I just wanna connect. 'Cause I feel so alone. I just wanna connect. 'Cause nobody feels like home to me. I didn't learn how to speak to people, how to relate and how to connect. I didn't have a mentor. I need a mentor. I need someone who can teach me how to be human, how to be someone that people like, how to be human and not despise and not an outlier. Sometimes I just want to set myself on fire. So I'm not an outlier, 'cause all I really, really want is to belong.
That's great stuff, right? And then it gets more emotional and it gets more relatable. And
Yeah,
I feel like one of our first songs should maybe be that exercise, you know?
Okay.
And the rhyming part is,
Oh man,
they
that does
always
my fucking head in.
yeah, they always say like, oh, the rhyming doesn't matter, and I've always been like, yeah, but it does. But I feel like if it's
It does, but I don't want to do it at the mercy of the emotion
Sure.
and the story. That's all.
Sure. Yeah,
Yeah.
and so what I feel like is that actually it is I'm starting to realize that it's legitimately one of the lesser important things in there. Like one of the main important things is being able to tell a good story. And the good story comes with relatable characters. And so we could do a whole show with rhyming and not relatable characters, and it'll be some kind of party trick that's not cool. Another important thing is to be able to go there emotionally, right? That's another important thing. Another thing is to have good musical competence. Like I think it's more important that we get our notes right than to rhyme. So I really do see it as a nice to have, but the
It's the
other
icing.
things are so much
It's not the cake.
are so much
Yeah.
more important. Yeah. And it is good to kind of get, unfortunately, that icing takes tons and tons of practice.
And brain power.
You know?
Yeah, big time. Yeah.
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 But this is a problem that I have with theater and film and stuff in general right now is there's so much emphasis put on everything from the technicalities
The icing.
to like the blocking and the icing and in my worlds is the film, right? The technology and what's the newest camera and stuff like that. And no one's talking about how do we make sure at least we can do stories as good as what was on the screen 60 years ago.
Yeah, 100%.
And
I agree.
you know, and so you just get movies like Ridley Scott stuff that are like amazing spectacles and stuff, and nobody's feeling anything, you know?
Yeah,
it's not
100%.
storytelling. Yeah.
Yeah, I watched something on Prime the other day, and it was good. I mean, look, it was impressive, like, especially the cinematography, like effects, even the plot to a certain extent, although there were a fuckload of holes in it. But I actually had to go back and go to my shelf, my DVD shelf, and get off Minder, which is a show from 1977, a British show about a guy who's a car salesman, a used car salesman, and his minder, who's his bodyguard, and all of the scraps that they get into. And I watched 2 episodes, and you can't even compare. Like, when it comes to character, when it comes to depth, when it comes to all of the stuff that really matters when it comes to story, right?
Yeah. So you can find better stuff all the time, and it doesn't matter if it was shot nicely or poorly or what have you. And it's the same thing here with our rhyming and some of the technical stuff. So I would just love, with your permission, to focus on, I don't want to say it's story too much because it can get in our head like, all right, now there needs to be a mentor character.
Yeah, you don't want to be like a plot monster. Yeah.
Right. It's not plot. Yeah. It's more just about what do these people want, and let's see what happens when they go for what they want. Because we can get caught up in the object work and the laughter and all that stuff, and it's just about who are these people and how do we have them go for what they want.
And then either they're thwarted or supported in that, right?
Over and over, every single scene, they should be thwarted or supported. Usually thwarted, and when they're supported, they should not recognize it. Yeah, when they're thwarted, they should be like. Or when they're supported, they should be like, "You're not really helping me with what I need," you know, and then running away. And then the next scene, they're like, "Oh God, what have I done? I took away the only opportunity," you know, because that's storytelling.
Yeah.
So let's pause this if that's okay. I'm just going to tell Alina that we're going to go over because I was.
Okay.
We
can't
go
go too much over. We got to smash it out in 25 minutes.
Yeah. So let me just tell her that's what we're going to do.
Okay. I'm going to press stop on this. Great debrief. Thank you.
Thank you. That's awesome.